I'm Richard Clarke. I record these talks every day as a way to deepen my inquiry. Listen each day and deepen your own practice. Welcome. I'm reviewing and commenting on the book Talks with Sri Ramana Maharshi. Today is from Talk 446, Part 2. Questioner, are there degrees of illusion? Maharshi, illusion is itself illusory. Illusion must be seen by one beyond it. Can such a seer be subject to illusion? Can he then speak of degrees of illusion? There are scenes floating on the screen in a cinema show. Fire appears to burn buildings to ashes. Water seems to wreck vessels. But the screen on which the pictures are projected remains unscorched and dry. Why? Because the pictures are unreal, and the screen is real. Again, reflections pass through a mirror, but the mirror is not in any way affected by the quality or quantity of the reflections on it. So the world is a phenomena on the single reality, which is not affected in any manner. Reality is only one. The discussion about illusion is due to the difference in the angle of vision. Change your angle of vision to one of Jnana and then find the universe to be only Brahman. Being now in the world, you see the world as such. Go beyond it, and this will disappear. The reality alone will shine. In this dialogue, a questioner asks whether there are degrees of illusion. Sri Ramana Maharshi responds by stating that illusion is itself illusory and must be known by one who is beyond it. Such a one, a sage, is beyond illusion, is not at all subject to illusion, and therefore cannot speak of degrees of illusion. Ramana illustrates his point with a metaphor from a cinema. In a movie, various scenes play out on the screen. Buildings appear to burn, and water seems to wreck vessels. However, the screen remains unaffected, untouched and unscorched by fire, and still dry despite the water in the picture show. This is because the images are unreal, while the screen is real. Similarly, Ramana compares the world to reflections in a mirror, which do not alter the mirror regardless of their nature or number. We have two powerful metaphors to show what might seem to be real is just an appearance within a greater reality. The key idea here is that the world we perceive is like the movie scenes or reflections, an illusory phenomena, an appearance projected onto a single unchanging reality. The reality is the self, which remains unaffected by the transient appearances of the world. It is not just the self, it is yourself, your deepest identity. Ramana explains that discussions about illusion arise from differences in perspective. What you see depends on where you stand. From the perspective of ignorance, you see the world as real and get caught up in its apparent changes and multiplicities and your own desires. However, from the prospect of jnana, knowledge, or enlightenment, you know the universe as nothing but Brahman, the ultimate reality. By changing your perspective and realizing your true nature as the self, the illusion of the world dissolves and only the reality remains. Ramana says that happiness and suffering, the mind and the ego, are all elements of this illusion. Happiness and suffering are responses to the changing scenes of the world, but they do not touch the true self. They're just appearances. The mind and ego create the sense of individuality and separation, perpetuating this illusion. Through self-inquiry, asking, "Who am I?" and tracing the transient ego back to its unchanging source, you realize that the ego is not real. Ego is just an illusion, and the mind's activities are merely projections on the screen of the self. Ramana Maharshi teaches that what we experience as the world and its various phenomena are all just a part of the grand illusion. By shifting your perspective from that of an individual to one of self-knowledge, you see through this illusion and recognize the singular reality that you are, the reality that underlies everything. This knowledge leads to true liberation and peace, as you are no longer affected by the illusory appearances of the world. So know yourself and be always free and at peace. In 40 verses on reality, Ramana Maharshi explains the nature of the self, the ultimate reality, and self-inquiry. My new book, with my comments and inquiry questions, opens these teachings up and brings them into your practice and experience. Available now from Amazon. Link in the video description. These videos bring Ramana's teachings into your direct experience. Click subscribe to see more. Click thumbs up to like, and send questions and start a dialogue with a comment.